Mr. Generator said, I want to go for a ride on the four-wheeler today. We said, okay. Again, Bugaboo.
He's supposed to be napping.
You're becoming like a regular feature in these videos,
He's supposed
dude.
to be sleeping.
He is. He's a little off schedule.
Yeah, he is. Oh, okay, go.
Goodbye.
I'm hanging out up here waiting for Jesse to finish his breakfast, and I just got sharted on by a bird, like a legit bird shart. Thanks, bird. That's a really good way to start off the day. See that yellow stuff? Most of it I think landed on my head. That's just the residual shart. Hey, Jesse made it up. Thought he was gonna drive the truck or something. Looks like he made the truck.
I love hiking in the sun. Top 10 favorite thing to do.
Okay, so this time you can mark my words. Today is the day. We already have water at the bottom of the hill, so before we fill, I believe we're drilling our overflow. Is that correct, Jesse?
Yeah, because there's plastic shards inside the tank and we don't want all that plastic to fall in the tank. So we've got to make all of the connections now so that Alyssa can get in there and tidy them all up so we don't drink plastic shards for the next 100 years.
And then we also need to connect these two tanks with a 2-inch piece of PVC. And I think that's the only connection that's going on that tank. Is that correct?
Yes, but that's not happening for testing.
It's not happening for testing. Okay, so we have one more hole to drill and then we test, right?
Correct.
Change of plans. We are going to connect the two cisterns together because we have to do the work anyways, so we might as well be done with the cisterns, vacuum them out, and call it a day.
To maximize our capacity, in a super ideal world, we would have put the inlet at the far end, and we haven't done that. So what we're going to do is we're going to use this side inlet here because they put such a steep radius on this face that in order to put this bulkhead, I'm going to have to put it clear down here so that the flange will sit flush, which means I'm losing probably almost 3 inches of capacity in these tanks, which is pretty large amount. So if I put this bulkhead over here, I can go quite a bit higher because this radius is quite a bit smaller. The only major concern here is that this ultimately is lower than our inlet, which will keep us from overflowing the tanks. If it's too high, we will end up with an overflow and even a backflow situation with our inlet. So we want to go fairly high with this. On the other side, we're probably maybe about a 1/2 inch below this radius, and here we're going to go about the same because this opening is actually a 1-inch opening, which is sized larger than our inlet, which means that the flow capacity is higher on our outlet than it is on the inlet. Therefore, we're no chance of us over demanding on our outlet or our overflow and then overflowing the tanks. Something I forgot to mention is that this inlet bulkhead is actually threaded all the way through. So what we'll do is we'll actually run an extension of this this inlet inside the cistern, and it will come back here and up. And that way we get the maximum height out of our inlet. This is simply where we chose to penetrate the tank. We had talked about penetrating the tank down below, but there's no great way to get through the tank because these on the bottom have already been buried, and digging those out is less than ideal. We feel pretty confident our inlet line will be safe from freezing here. It's a little over 2 feet down, and hopefully with the inlet, it shouldn't be an issue. There shouldn't be a lot of water standing in there. And putting it on this bunk over here would put it vertically over the top of all this plumbing, which again is not ideal. So as it stands at the moment, unless we have a change of heart, we'll bring that inlet in and up. Why that's important is that allows me to put my overflow higher than I would if I simply brought that inlet directly in. I would have to come quite a bit lower. Beautiful. Alyssa reports that it's extremely painful to walk in there.
It is.
Oh yeah.
Okay. While I'm down here, we're gonna thread these on to the bottom.
It's important that that hole be clean around the edges. So
Okay.
if my knife did not get it free of burrs and things that could leak, cause a gasket leak, we need to get it cleaned up. So tell me that.
Okay. That's a good looking hole right there.
Thank you. Coming through. Okay. Think I'm good.
Next one. You ready?
So I'm trying to come up with the measurement for this piece of pipe. The big challenge here is that if I make the pipe too short, as we thread it into this bulkhead over here, it's going to want to pull on this bulkhead to match the length of the pipe. If I make it too long, it'll do the opposite. It'll push on that bulkhead. Because this is a piece of actual pressure pipe that will be integral to our system, I'm just taking a moment to look over the pipe and make sure that it's in good condition, and that our gluing surfaces are also nice and clean. With the encasing, you can kind of get away with sin on that stuff because it's not holding anything other than pipe. But when it comes to actually putting in this piece is just as important as everything else on our entire water system.
This is a hard job. Don't let anyone tell you otherwise. Okay, we're done with that. I'm gonna tackle cleanup, and we have a visitor here with a tractor.
Yeah.
Who is willing to filter some soil for us, and then we'll catch back up with you because we're filling this today. All right, cistern, it's time for our date. You ready? Are you guys as excited as we are? Wow. Oh boy.
Oh geez. Alright, so first things first. Small problem. Holy smokes.
Wow.
So we gotta open the fill hydrant and then we're gonna fire up the pump.
I don't know how I feel with company here. We have to keep our reactions appropriate.
I know.
Oh man.
All right.
We're going. We're going. Mayday. Mayday. Ah, our system's failing.
Seems like maybe the washer's missing.
Alyssa is quite familiar with this problem.
Yay! Wrench to the rescue!
Now we wait.
Just for this valve.
So we have a challenge. Everything's okay, We'll explain it more in detail at a later point, but basically the pipe and the encasement coming out of the cistern for the 2-inch is higher than we think the water level is right now with 250 gallons in there. So we're gonna have to work at that a little bit, but our short-term solution is just to go get more water. So we're gonna do that real quick, and hopefully we'll have water coming out of that hydrant within a couple of hours. We got more water. Let's see what we can accomplish this round.
I kind of have an idea, I think, just to remove the suspense just a hair.
Okay.
As we start pumping, let's just leave our hydrant open.
Okay.
And when water comes out,
it comes out.
Hopefully water comes out, and when it comes out, we'll celebrate. If it doesn't come out, we're either gonna cry or go get more water. She's alive! Do you think I should be standing in front of this?
Ooh, I'd do it. Be a risk taker.
Like, I'm looking right down the throat of the demon.
I just want to say, Richard is one more person that came on our property, and he's like, dude, it's hot there.
Yeah.
He's like a couple miles away from us, and he said it's not nearly as hot on my property. So when people think we're being weenies, I promise you we're not. Ask Richard.
Come put in 15-hour days, then you are allowed to speak freely.
Jesse thinks it's coming. I don't hear anything.
Something's coming. Oh, it's coming.
Really? We're having a parenting practicing moment. We're trying to decide if our kid was doing something we didn't want it to do. What would we tell him?
So here's the deal, hydrant. I had my choice of hydrants, and I picked you. Right now, you're making me look pretty bad. So, I'm gonna give you about 50 more gallons, and I'm gonna need to see something, or we're gonna have a little chat.
You don't want to see Papa angry.
You understand? Hydrant, do you hear me?
Not looking good, boss.
Uh-oh.
We might have to do round 3.
This is not looking good at all. Oh, Moses. I think it's time for us to concede that we had probably better do a couple of double checks.
We're so over today. We're actually pretty over this project. Ready to be done. It's a little hard to see on camera, but our encasement and our pipe is climbing up out of the ditch. The backstory is this actually was a slight decline over winter, which we checked with the laser level, and then the trench caved in, and we cleared off as much rock as we could until it was about level with the eye. But even since laying this encasement, we've had rocks fall through. So I guess now we either go get more water and it will climb over that, or today or tomorrow we can clean some of this rock out and hopefully the level of that will drop. This is not oversight. We were completely aware of this. Is there water in there?
Oh yeah.
Yay. Hey, water. Here we go again.
I think we should test this because it may be, in the amount of time we were gone, it burped and gurgled.
Yep.
There actually may be water there.
Did we leave it open or closed?
No, closed. I wouldn't leave it open.
Okay.
After all that work.
No way.
Nope. So I don't know if I'm right or not, but I have a hunch at this point that the system is actually vapor locked. I think we've got a little bit of a hump in the system. And I think maybe, I'm just guessing, that there's an air bubble right there that's keeping the water, they're kind of at war with each other. So, I have an idea. I'm gonna pump water backwards through the drain line, and hopefully we'll pump water through the entire drain line and force the air out the top. That should fill our drain line with water, and then I think I'm learning a lesson. Don't empty the drain line, which that's not a good idea. Anyway, let's give this a shot.
Got that done. Now we resume plan A.
I'm sure the time lapse shows all the fun.
Oh, it does.
So my plan worked, and water came gushing out of here, saturated the ground, which weakened what was holding it up. It all fell over. Awesome.
Alyssa comes running out in her toothbrush.
Yeah.
Or with her toothbrush.
Yeah. Anyway, so we're hooked back up to our fill line. We'll try to get this tank empty. We've got dinner to go to. We're already showered. Can you tell? And let's see if we can get water to come out of here while we're doing it.
Does that mean it worked?
I don't know.
Oh.
If it ends soon, the answer is no. In theory, this should be creating a suction. For the record, that's barely open.
Okay.
Like, barely. Like that much.
Yep.
See, this is what happens when you don't fully close it.
Okay.
This is what it was doing. It was leaking over here and I didn't see it. Are we supposed to be excited? We got water coming out of our pipe? I think excitement ended about 2 hours ago. You know what? You don't watch our videos because they're full of like drama and fakeness. You watch them because we're down home real. Like,
this is real.
this is how it goes, folks. You said you wanted reality. You're welcome.
Reality TV at best.
Publish more videos, you said.
It's not running out, right?
It's not running out.
So your plan may have worked.
Maybe. Wow, that water feels good.
Does it?
Nice and cold.
So now what?
I think this is stable. I'm gonna pack this down just a little bit, actually. Well, I was thinking we'd finish filling the tank with that.
Okay.
But quite honestly, that can be done tomorrow.
Yeah.
I don't know. You wanna wait
Or
out
later
here for
tonight.
20 minutes?
I'm pretty freaking hungry.
Yeah, our hungry set in like 3 hours ago, 4 hours ago.
I think that's it. We did it. Yay.
Yay. And I'll tell you what, earlier, this was gonna be a celebration. We were gonna go have margaritas and hang out and be like, got our water system working. And now it's like, screw that. It can sit. We gotta go have margaritas.
It's working.
It works. I actually tested it when you were doing your
Really?
hair or whatever. Yep, I put a hose on the spigot and it works. So we got other chores to do. Life moves on. We'll deal with this tomorrow.
Time for dinner.
Time for margaritas. Yeah, I sprayed all that down with water.
Yeah, it looks so good. Wow. Tomorrow we'll be back